Yo. Once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Kens TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Before I get into today's story, if you will, understand that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better. Meaning that anytime I drop a story, it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, you're at work, you don't feel like being there, as we so often don't. You're on your way home from work, you need to laugh, you need to cry. Perhaps you're trying to lay down and take a nap, or you're trying to go to sleep at night, depending on whatever time you're listening to or viewing this video. Or you're just in the mood for a good old-fashioned true, keyword being true, penitentiary / life story / life experience. This is the channel for you. If you prefer your 8, 10, 15-minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at Real Kens TV, it's 30 minutes or better. So with all that being said, there is a message. As I've been doing so often as of late, I'm checking my emails every single day, realkenstv@yahoo.com. And people are posing questions, and I'm answering these questions through my videos. Had an individual ask me, say, Real Kens, are there really bullies in prison like that? You know, I watch other channels and they make it seem as though there are a lot of bullies and things of that nature in prison. Absolutely. You bet your bottom dollar. You bet your bottom dollar there's bullies in prison. Think about it. It's bullies on the streets. You run across bullies when you're a small child, you know, coming up, going to elementary and all the way up. So just imagine a lot of those people that were bullies when they were kids end up in the penitentiary. Particular situation. I have actually many stories of bullies, but this one particular situation, we're going to go with Big Keith. I'm going to tell the story of Big Keith. Big Keith was an absolute gorilla, man. He was a gorilla. Caramel complected, black dude, obviously. I say obviously because he's caramel complected. Had short haircut. Was cut to death. I'm talking about this dude looked like a, pause. This dude looked like an action figure, man. Had a little size to him, but he was just, you could just tell, like, I don't know, it was probably just, he just had great genes, and then he worked out that only amplified it. It's not like he was 6'3" or 6'4", but he wasn't 5'8" or 5'9" either. I don't know. I didn't have a measuring tape with me. I don't know exactly how tall. So just for the sake of me not knowing, I'm going to just go out on a limb and guess. I'm going to take a wild stab at it. Big Keith was 5'11". Y'all rock with me, man. Jump in the comments and let me know where you chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky, man. Rock with me. Shout out to everybody that is out there working, getting that money, doing what you got to do to put food on the table, doing what you got to do to keep them lights on, doing what you got to do to provide, survive. Shout out to all the male workers, the male men, the male women. They jumped in my comments and say, Real Kens, you don't never give us a shout out. We put in that work too. We got earbuds. We listen to your channel to help get us through our shifts. We drop them loads off just as well. Dropping loads off. Nevertheless, shout out to everybody that listens to Real Kens and that listen to my channel, in which helps them get through their shift at work. So you got Big Keith. We're in the county jail, man. I'm in the bullpen. The bullpen's just pretty much where they throw you at. Like, say you have a court date. So actually, we weren't in the county jail. We started in the county jail, but then we had court that day. So you may be in a bullpen with 30, 40, 50 other inmates. They take you to the courthouse. Once they take you to the courthouse, they unshackle your hands, but your legs still have the shackles on them, like you still have cuffs on your legs. And they throw you in a bullpen. It may be about 2 or 3 benches in there that'll hold maybe 15 people. You got a toilet, and that's pretty much it. So if you got 50 people in the bullpen and only 15 people can sit down, you can imagine all the people just standing around. kind of like the jail scenes you see on TV, to where they're in the county jail and the dude goes inside and there's people standing up and you got people in this corner and they playing cards and people in this corner, they talking and they rapping or whatever. Yeah, it's something very similar to that. And you sit in the bullpen for however long until they call you up to whatever judge that you're going before. So again, you got 50 people in the bullpen. I'm painting a picture for you all that's never been. You got 50 people in the bullpen. They may say, okay, you going to, all the people going to courtroom A, they'll call them out, it may be 12. Then the people going to courtroom B, it may be 8 people. Courtroom C, it may be 12 people. You see what I'm saying? And then you separate, but you end up going into another bullpen. We in a bullpen, and there was a dude that came from court. He came from court, and the judge locked him up. When the judge locked him up, he came into the cells, a white dude, had long hair. Seemed like a, cool dude. Hey, what's up, dude? But you could tell that he probably hadn't had much experience as far as being incarcerated, which is a great thing. It's no badge of honor getting incarcerated. He comes into the cell. People's kind of looking at him or whatever. Big Keith runs up on him. Now imagine, Big Keith is only 5'11". The whole world is 5'11". Now I don't necessarily want to say only, but it's not like he's a physical, imposing type of individual. When he has his uniform on, his jail uniform, you can't even tell that he's that big. But when he takes that shirt off, man, dude is swole, man. You can't help but, notice. It's not like you're staring at him, but you can't help but notice. He walks around the cell with his shirt off and doing push-ups and dips and pull-ups all day long. But nevertheless, he runs up on the dude. What's up, man? Hey, how you doing, man? What they got you in there for? He says whatever they have him in for. Damn, you was coming to jail today? Well, I knew it was a possibility, man, when I came to court or whatever. Oh, okay. So I know you didn't come in here empty-handed. I know you got something. Man, I really don't have nothing. Nah, man, you got something. He grabs him. Big Keith grabs him. Dudes, come on, man, get off me, man. He grabs him or whatever. A couple other dudes end up coming over there. They pick him up. I've actually told a story about this on one of my prior videos. I don't remember exactly which video it was, but they literally pick him up, like up against the wall. They turn him over to where one has one leg, the other dude has the other leg, and he's literally hanging up. They have him hanging upside down. Big Keith is going in his pockets or whatever. Yeah, I thought you said you didn't have nothing, huh? They found some cigarettes or whatever. That's pretty much all that they found, because evidently, I guess they hadn't patted him down yet. I don't know exactly why they hadn't, but they found cigarettes on him, and they took the man's cigarettes. That was just one of the examples of when I, as far as the times that I've seen and heard about Big Keith bullying people. Another time he beat a couple dudes up or whatever, because Big Keith isn't from here. And so sometimes, or oftentimes, when you find yourself in the county jail and you're not from that particular place, people will try you. Big Keith barred none. He whooped 2 or 3 dudes or whatever. It didn't make him no difference. He would take them shower shoes off. He'd take his socks off. Take his shirt off. Come get you some. And whoever ran up, they got the issue. Big Keith was like that. He even whooped the guard one time. See, a lot of times them COs, they come in there and they act as though they're high and mighty. Not all COs. Not all COs. But you got some that really act as though they're high and mighty. They walk around with their mace cans on their hip. They got their handcuffs. They got their flashlights. I see you. I see you. That's what Martin Lawrence said. That I didn't make that up. But most importantly, they got that panic button. They got their walkie-talkie. And it stays right here on their shoulder. They got like a little, they can contraption or whatever, and it stays right there. And it's a red button. Call it the panic button. So anytime they're getting to talking crazy and yeah, whatever, I take his badge off, I take my radio off, and I come fight me. Come fight me. Yeah, they go through that some again. Not all of them. Then as soon as okay, well, let's fight then. They hit that panic button. Next thing you know, it's about 5 or 10 of them running in. You know what I mean? So Big Keith had already established this reputation of not only being able to fight and use his hands, but being a bully. He's in the county jail. He's fighting the case. Eventually, he gets convicted or he pleads guilty, and he ends up going to the penitentiary. I'm fighting the case in the county jail. He's fighting the case in the county jail. So I believe he ended up getting convicted. Actually, I know he ended up getting convicted before me getting sent off to prison. I come maybe 6-7 months later. We end up on the same yard together. I don't really know Big Keith like he's not from here. You know, we were cool. We was always cordial, but we never really had any dealings or anything like that other than, hey, what's up, man? You know what I mean? He would come to me from time to time because I was decent with the law books. So different people that was fighting cases or whatever, I done broke down the laws and you know, I would give people advice or whatever that came to me. I never just went up to people and say, hey, you should do this. You should do that. But I was pretty decent with the law books. Y'all rock with me. So we had somewhat of I don't know what you necessarily want to call it, but he never really tried me. He never really had any issues with me, which most people didn't. I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything like that, because I'm far from a tough guy. I never really bothered anybody. You know, people kind of always like me wherever I go. I don't know. We in the joint. Big Keith loved to put down. He's a hustler, man. He ain't really have a whole lot of help from outside. But he's going to get that money by any means necessary. If he got to take it, if he got to, get that bag, in through visitations or through the guards or whatever, he's going to get that money. He's not going to starve in jail. As I often speak about, you need money in jail. You need money. So if you got people that's in jail or prison or whatever, look out for them, man. If you're able to. You don't owe anybody anything, but you need money when you're in jail. Same way you need money out here on the streets. Big Keith will put down the poker games. He had a store. A store is a big business in prison. You accumulate a bunch of commissary, and then when people are trying to get into poker games or they're waiting for their money to arrive or, whatever the case may be, hey, Big Keith, I need about $8 worth of items, $10 worth of items. Yeah, what you need, man? Give me a few of them sodas, a couple packs of them cookies, get a few noodles. Let me get one of them summer sausages, and he had everything. A couple honey buns, too. Okay, $10, you owe me $15 back. Give me a store list. Store list means, okay, I gave you $15 worth of items. Well, I gave you $10 worth of items, rather. So when it's time for you to pay me back the $15, I'm going to give you a store list worth of, I can't talk today. Manual rewind at a Sign Campbell stove. Y'all tell him I said it. I'm going to give you a store list worth $15. Get me whatever I want from the store. And that's how the store, is ran in prison. He ran parlay tickets. Those are just gambling tickets. So if you want to gamble on football games, basketball games, or whatever, pick 3 teams. 3 teams hit, cover the spread. It's going to pay you 5-1 odds. So if you bet $2, it's going to pay you $10 if you win. You bet $3, it's going to pay you $15. You bet 4 teams, it's going to pay you, I think, 8-1 odds. You see what I'm saying? So that's how he made his money. And he ran the poker tables. People would always come to his poker games. He had a nice setup as far as his poker games and the people that would continuously come back and forth to his poker games. I know a lot of you that have been to prison, you know this, but you have to understand a lot of people haven't been to prison, so they have no earthly clue what I'm speaking about. So I really try to break it down and so that everybody can fully understand exactly where I'm coming from. Most of the time when Keith, matter of fact, I want to say all the time when Keith had a poker game, he would win. The house always wins in gambling. You may have a good night, from time to time, but overall, the house is always going to win. Big Keith didn't chase bets. And so at the end of the night, most of the time, a couple people may win, but he takes in way more money than he's paying out. You had an individual that loved to gamble Most people do love to gamble. Well, a lot of people love to gamble as far as the ones that continuously come to the poker table every day. See, poker games in prison may last all day long. You may be out on the yard all day long gambling, all day. You had an individual went by the name of Lexus. I'm sure you all can see where I'm going with this. I never referred to Lexus as Lexus. I never really had much dealings with Lexus. But if I were to ask Lexus a question or what have you, what up, L? Never referred to Lexus as Lexus. What up, L? Can't necessarily call L transgender, but he was very, very feminine. He lived a life inside as a woman, but I don't know if he necessarily lived that life on the streets. I don't know. I never really asked a whole lot of questions. But he would walk around and put the Kool-Aid on his lips, wet the Kool-Aid a little bit, put the Kool-Aid on his lips, keep his hair put up, tight pants. You know, he would perceive himself, he would perpetrate as though he was a woman in prison. As crazy as that may sound, one of the hottest things on the yard, because L wasn't the only one that did that, but it's not very many. It's a few, but it's not very many. When you have that type of behavior, when you act that way in prison, when you see a lot of individuals with twinkles in their eyes. Some of the hardest dudes, the biggest dudes, the most gangsters dudes, or whatever, when you see somebody like L come on the yard, you see their whole demeanor change. Oh yeah, they still gorillas. But you see what they're really, really interested in. They don't need no money sent in. They don't want for nothing. So many people, so many dudes is chasing them on the yard. Again, not every dude. Not even close to every dude. Inmate, however you want to, label them. But you have a select few that are really, really going overboard to catch L's attention. L loved to gamble in the poker games. Every time L lost, he paid his debts. Anytime he lost, he paid his debts at the end of the night or during the poker game. Because they'll allow you so much credit. They call it going up top, but it's just credit. Okay, I'm gonna give you $10 up top, which is $10 credit. If you lose that, you got to go get it. And then whatever you want to get back in the game with, if you so desire to get back in the game, you got to bring it to the table. See, in prison, commissary is currency, is money. Most nights, L would lose. This particular night, L was on fire. I'm talking about L was on fizzire. Not fire, fizzire. You heard me? Seemed like every card was coming his way. The house found himself, which was Big Keith. He found himself down a lot of money. He's down $50, $60 because other individuals had won too. See, it's all good when you winning. It's all smiles when you winning. But when you got to go in that lock and pay out, you don't like that. You don't like that whatsoever. Back then, you had cigarettes on the yard. So you take a pack of cigarettes. I don't smoke. But you take a cheap pack of cigarettes, such as these. They were Camels or Waves. Cigarettes were worth, I want to say, $2.50 on the yard. Roughly. And then they had boxes of cigarettes that you could buy from the commissary just as well. Dudes would get into the game with cigarettes because you couldn't get into the game with hygiene items and stamps and all that. Nah, it would be a straight food and cigarette game. You have some games where you could get in with hygienes, but this particular game that we were playing in this night, no hygienes, no stamps. All food, cigarettes. It was going down. Big Keith was down $50. This $60. This $70. It just got to the point to where it was just like, whoa, when is this gonna stop? Something is starting to get dangerous. Once you get up so much money on the house in prison, it starts to get real, real dangerous. Unless you a solidified G or you a solidified individual to where the house knows that you don't play. Got up to $100. L's really feeling himself at this point. You can see the frustration on Big Keith's face. It's only about 3 people left in the game at this point. L's trying to quit. And you just gonna take my money like that and just run? Usually play to the end. What do you mean? I can quit whenever I want to. Who said that I gotta sit down at the table and play all night? They going back and forth, arguing a little bit. They continue to play, though. Needless to say, they continue to play poker. 3 people at the table. The other individual, he ends up losing his money or he quits or whatever. So now you got head up. You got the house, Big Keith, and this L. I'm done, man. I'm not going to play you head up. I'm not going to play. I've just been sitting here for the last 45 minutes just because I'm done. I'm not playing no more. I'm done. They tally up. They look, because in prison, you play poker on paper. I know it's too hard to explain. If you don't know, you just have to see it. But you keep score on paper. It's very easy, but you have to have an individual that really knows how to keep score, like me. Knows how to add quickly, do math. Big Keith was down. He owed, I don't know what he was down total, but I know that he owed L $170. $170. That's big money in prison, man. That's big money. All right, man, let me get the bag together or whatever. Get the bag together. He has to go to the kitty. The house has to go to the kitty. The kitty is just where everything is stored at, stashed at, or whatever. Get $170 worth of items, put it in the bag, take it over to whoever wanted. In this case, it was L. He comes out about 10 minutes later, brings L the bag. But when he brings L the bag, it's nowhere near $170. It's not even remotely close. L takes the bag. What is this? But you got to be discreet. See, gambling in prison and jail is not legal. So it's a risk even bringing somebody the bag. Because if a CO sees that bag, sees you passing it off, guess what? He going to take it unless you got a cool CO. L goes into the dorm, counts the money up or whatever. And they were all in the same dorm. Goes into the unit, rather, counts the money up. L already knew that it wasn't 170, but he was willing to take somewhat, okay, I cut him a little break or whatever. In prison, a lot of times, you'll catch people, they'll cut you a break. Not all the time. Let's just say you done lost $60, $70 and you come to the table all the time. Okay, you owe 70, man, just give me, I used to do it all the time when I ran my poker game. You owe me 70? Here, man, just give me 45, man. Give me 40. I ain't tripping. Just to, it killed the day for me. I came up on some commissary. I wasn't really tripping. I wasn't one of those individuals that needed every single dollar. But there are a lot of dudes that need every single dollar. If you owe me $10, you're not giving me $9. L counts the money up. It's like $60. And it's $60 worth of crap. BS. Noodles. See, noodles are important they're important everywhere as far as being incarcerated, but they have more of a value in the county jail, because in prison, you don't really catch dudes eating noodles like that unless they don't really have a lot of money being sent in. So it was full of like noodles, stuff that people really didn't like. But the tuna pouches, the summer sausages, the honey buns, none of that was in there. L's far from dumb. He knows that these items were brought to the cookies, the Doritos, the chips. Where's all this stuff at? I seen all this stuff brought to the game. You shorting me way, You $120 short, partner. Man, this is what I got, man. You lucky you got that. What? You heard me. You lucky I gave you anything. I ain't had to give you nothing. Man, you gonna do me like that? All the nights I done came to your poker game and I done paid and I ain't never try to truck. That's what they call it in prison. I ain't never try to truck you, run over you. Because you know better. This is what I got. Get out of my face. My man, you right. You see, Big Keith felt as though that bullying tactic, that bullying behavior that he had always displayed in his life, it's just another opportunity, another time in which he was, being a bully. He didn't want to pay. If it was one of them gorillas, such as himself, quite sure he would have paid. But then again, I don't know. Big Keith was a sandwich short of a picnic. So I don't know. He may have tried, anybody else. But I know on this particular night, he didn't pay L what he owed. I don't agree with L's lifestyle, but I don't got nothing to do with L as an individual. As far as L played that game, L paid his money, and L should have received his money. Big Keith wasn't coming off the tuna pouches and the Jack Max and the cans of chili, and nah, he wasn't coming up off that. A lot of times when the poker game ends, it's close to lockdown. Because as I mentioned earlier, you play all day long. So let's just say the yard locks down. You got to be back in your cell at 10:50. Well, you're going to shut the poker game down probably at about 10:15, 10:20, so that you can get everybody paid, and unless you the house and you done just cleaned up. So you may run the game a little bit longer, but you're going to shut the game down about, 10:20, somewhere right around in there, no later than 10:30. So you can get everybody their items, or everybody can pay you what they owe. There's nothing L could really do that night, but he slept on it all night. He told some people in the cell, yeah, man, I done paid this money or whatever, and dude, he shorted me $120. He's gonna ride for you think I'm gonna just go for that? You have to imagine L did what he did, but L is still a man at the end of the day. They were both, to be honest, caramel complected, about the same complexion, and they were both about the same height. Ironically, L was 5'11" just as well. Just wasn't nearly, I would say, Big Keith probably weighed in at 200, 205. L probably weighed in at 160. L was slim. I was going to say petite, but men, I don't think, can be petite. So I'm going to just say L, double pause. L was just a slim dude. Wasn't really weighing in with Keith, Big Keith. But at the same time, he wasn't going to just let this ride. It just wasn't happening. Next day, hey, bro, I need my money, man. Big Keith put down the poker games almost every night. I need my bread, man. When I told you, man, get on away from here, man, before I do something to you. What? You ain't gonna do nothing. Bitch ass nigga. Calls him out at the table in front of everybody. Bitch ass nigga. You ain't gonna do nothing. Yeah, all right. Keep running it. Keep running it. Yeah, okay, I will. You gonna give me my money. You gonna give me my money one way or another. Yeah, all right, man. L goes on or whatever. Couple days passes, 3 or 4 days actually. Nothing said. L says nothing else to him. Every night he watches Big Keith collect at the end of the poker games. Every single night he got big bags. He got so much commissary, he can't even fit everything in his locker. You have a locker in prison in which you have to keep your clothes in and your hygienes or whatever. And then you have like it's a box. It's like a foot locker. And all it is a box. And you can keep food in. He had so much commissary that he had to pay people. I'm like, hey, bro, let me keep this in your box or in your locker or whatever. I give you, $10 a week, $15 a week, whatever the arrangement was. He had to pay other individuals. That's how much commissary that he had. You get caught with too much commissary in prison and you can't produce a receipt. If the right CO runs down on you and shakes you down, guess what? They taking all of that. Then they're going to write you up for unauthorized property. 3 or 4 nights goes past, as I mentioned. Poker game's over with. Got a decent guard on. See, certain guards, they'll shut it down to where you can't get in the shower after like 11 o'clock. But if you got a cool guard on, he don't care. This particular night, it was a cool CO on. Like I said, some of them COs, people have a misconception of the message that I try to get across. There's a lot of COs that are cool, man. A lot of COs just there to get their money and they ain't trying to make, but you got a lot that are jerks. So when I talk about COs in a negative light, I'm only speaking of the ones that are absolute jerks. Y'all got to excuse me too, man, for having my work shirt on. I just got off work and I didn't, to be honest, I didn't feel like changing. That's just what it is. I didn't feel like changing. So it is what it is. Big Paul jumps in the shower. I said Big Paul. Let's rewind that. Big Keith. There's so many different bullies. I think I told you all the story of Big Paul. Big Pizzy. He was another bully. Big Keith jumps in the shower. These weren't the open. Well, different dorms had different shower setups. In this particular dorm, they had the individual showers. It's where you literally could go in the shower. They got a curtain. It's not very big. But you get in there and take a shower and you don't got to worry about showering with 10, 15 other dudes. And you come up out of there. Lockdown time or whatever. They do their little count. Once they do the count, that's when Big Keith jumps in the shower. L's opportunity. L seen an opportunity right here. I'm not letting this ride. L had the white boys loved L. So L had a couple white dudes that really had his back. Problem is with that, if the white dudes jumped on Big Keith, it was going to be a race war. It was just going to go down because despite Big Keith being wrong, 2 or 3 white dudes jump on him, and that's probably what it's going to take unless it's a gorilla. If it's 2 or 3 black dudes that jump on him, unless it's a gorilla, it's going to take 3 or 4 of them. You might have to go get your best 10. I got this. Y'all just watch my back. L was on some real G shit, some real gangster shit. Went in and grabbed a couple combination locks. Because you got a couple, combination locks or whatever. You got one for your locker, you got one for your foot locker, your foot box. Hey, let me see your lock. Let me see your lock. Grabbed about 4 or 5 combination locks. Put them in that sock. Wrap that sock around his hand. He's in the shower just, waiting for Big Keith to come out of the shower. He's in the bathroom, rather, not in the shower. He's in the bathroom waiting for Big Keith to come out of the shower. Big Keith comes out of the shower. He ain't thinking nothing of it. He steps out of the shower, and oftentimes when you step out of the shower, you turn around and grab your towel. They got like this little towel hook or whatever, to where, your towels hanging, your boxes or whatever. He steps out of the shower, grab his towel, because the shower is so small, it's hard to dry off inside of the shower. I always dry it off inside of the shower. I never stepped out of the shower. I would just dry off inside of the shower or whatever, and then I step out, and, but I got my boxes on or whatever. Big Keith steps out, turns around, grabs his towel, whatever. He's drying off. What better opportunity? L walks over towards him. I guess in his peripheral, I guess he could sense, although his back was turned, I guess he could sense that somebody was walking towards him. He turns around. Before he could turn all the way around, back up. Catches him right in his dome. Splits his whole wig, man. Pushes his noodle all the way back with one swing. Yeah. Yeah, you thought you thought you was gonna take my money. Boom! Hit him again. Hit him the second time. He kind of starts to kind of slide down the wall, trying to cover up. He's discombobulated. He don't even know what's going on. Boom! 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 Just bashing him. Now he's covering his head up, so every single time that he's being hit, he's not, it's not a headshot or whatever. Sometimes it's his shoulders, his chest, sometimes he's missing, he's hitting the wall, but L's just swinging. Boom! 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 Just swinging like crazy. I'm talking about beating the brizaches, not the brakes. He's beating the brizaches off dude. Big Keith. He's talking to him when he's doing it. You thought you was just gonna play me? You thought you was gonna mother money when you bitch ass nigga? You think you gonna? It's the CO catches wind. Obviously, the CO catches wind. They come in. I don't know what the signal is in prison. I don't remember. But you all know I do my signal calls. And in the detention center, in the county jail, something like that would have been a signal 7. Signal 7 unit CC. Signal 7 unit CC. That's all you would hear over the intercom. You might be asleep. You might be in the shower. You might, whatever. You might be in a whole different part of the jail. But signal 7 means get here and get here fast. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Signal 7 unit CC. Signal 7 unit CC. If y'all still rocking with me to this point, it's to let me know if you're still listening to me or you still following along. Jump in the comments and hit that Signal 7 CC one time. Signal 7 unit CC. Signal 7 unit CC. That's how the COs are tough. They're frantic. They're panicking. They don't know what to do. Signal 7 unit CC. Respectfully. So they come in. Signal 7's being called. They come in. They break it up or whatever. Don't really have to do much. As soon as they come in and, drop the weapon. They act like you got it is a weapon, to be honest. See, in prison, that's a deadly weapon. Putting a lock in a sock is considered a deadly weapon. Can be considered a deadly weapon. Big Keith's messed around. He's split. He's out on the floor. He ain't knocked out, but he's split, man. He's dazed. He's out of it. He's bleeding. He got his boxers on. That's the only thing he has on. He got one sandal on. The other sandal's way over here. They take L out of there. They take Big Keith out of there. He has to go to the hospital. Not the infirmary. He has to go to the actual hospital, university hospital, because he's split. He got to get staples in his head, and he got a concussion, and his mouth, his jaw is wired up. Like he got his issue, man. Hitting his ribs, man. He got messed around, man. They end up shipping. Actually, L went to the hole initially, and then they shipped L to another institution. They ended up doing an investigation once Big Keith comes back from the hospital. He goes to the hole. Pending investigation. He's let back out on the yard eventually because L was already gone. They was never going to let the both of them back out on the same yard together. Eventually, Big Keith gets shipped because L twists the whole plot. Listen, man, the only reason I did this is because he was trying to grape me, which was not true. I'm not going to put that on Big Keith. He wasn't that I knew of. I never heard of it. I never seen it. I never, in no way, form, or fashion, and I have to say this because some people that was there that may watch this channel, they know. Like I have people that jump in the comments from time to time and be like, hey, I was there. He ain't lying. He ain't lying. Now the yes man is. There's always a yes man somewhere. No matter what the person says, he ain't lying. It was just one of those situations, man, to where L played his part. And I'm trying to figure, so when you see me pausing, it's like, because I'm trying to figure out a way to say this, because YouTube, they censor our videos a lot. L played his part. Listen, man, dude was trying to grape me, man. And he was coming on to me. I told him no. See, in prison, no means no. Yes means no. And yes is not allowed. That's the motto in prison. As far as the staff. A lot of inmates don't adhere to that. Most do, but you have some that don't. I was just protecting myself. I was afraid. He was threatening me. He was taking my commissary. He was telling me that he was going to grape me and he was going to do something to me. I'm in here. I live a life of how can you put this? A transgender. And y'all put me in a male prison. And I don't know what to do. And I'm so afraid every day. And I played that role, that part. He played his role. No charges were brought about. Matter of fact, not only were no charges brought about but from what I hear from the COs, went to the hole for a little bit, let out, no write-up whatsoever. Like it never even happened. Maybe did 30 days in the hole, something of that sorts. For the rest of the time, I would imagine, because I know that for the short amount of time that Big Keith was let back out on the yard, that was the talk of the yard. Man, you got whooped by I don't want to say what they were saying, but I'm quite sure that you all understand where I'm trying to. You got whooped by a TS. You got whooped by a TS or a TG. Transgender. A zesty dude. Absolutely nothing wrong with if you, no disrespect to anybody, I'm just simply telling a story. You live your life however you want to live your life. No disrespect to anybody. I'm just simply telling a story. I heard Big Keith ended up whooping another dude because he was running it. Then he ended up getting transferred. Then once he got transferred, see, the thing about prison, just because you in this prison, people are going to hear about what happened on this yard. So it doesn't matter if they send you here, there, Timbuktu, it don't matter. People are going to hear about it. And from what I heard, the talk of the yard was Big Keith got whooped by TG. They didn't want to hear that I was in the shower and I didn't even know that he was, coming up, from behind or whatever, and he had a lock in the sock, 4 or 5 locks in the sock. They don't want to hear that. The bottom line. This is Ric Flair. I've been watching Ric Flair video. The bottom line, Tony Schiavone. You got whooped. And you got whooped bad. But see, that's that karma. You reap what you sow. You can't just guerrilla people. You see a whole lot of that in prison. People just trucking people, being a guerrilla, man. And you thinking that this individual ain't going to do nothing based upon how he looks. Don't work out like that, man. A lot of dudes got heart. Some people do things just out of fear. Whatever the case may be, whatever it takes to get the job done, it gets done. I done seen people get hot water thrown on them in their face. I done seen people get beat in the sleep, in the showers. It's all type of things that go down in prison, man. It's violence. It's violence. If you don't like to see these things, if you don't want these things to potentially take place in front of your very eyes or to you, or put you in a situation where you feel like you got to split a motherfucker's wig, push their noodle all the way backwards, stay out of prison. Lions, tigers, and bears, gorillas, goons, hyenas, dog eat dog world. Ain't nobody caring anything about a voice of reasoning and all that. Dudes in prison, not everybody, but you got dudes that's in there that's never going home. Can you imagine? Never, ever. I'm never going home. But yet I know that you get out in 6, 7 years, you looking at it like, man, I got 6 years, I got 10 years before I go home. I got 3 or 4 years before I even have an opportunity to go home. But this dude right here is never, ever, ever in life going home. Anything, everything that he ever had. His wife is gone. His girl's gone. He don't get to see his kids. His mother's passed away. His dad has passed away. You think I really have something to lose? Do you think that I really, really care about sending you out of here on a gurney? What they gonna do to me? Throw me in the hole for what? 6 months and let me out? I'm never going home anyway. No guns in prison. There are no guns in prison. Understand that. It's all about who you know. Just like on the real streets, in the real world, it's all about who you know, right? That's what people say. It's all about who you know. You got dudes in prison, man, they get their hands on butcher knives. So while you taking a toothbrush and you sharpening it, it's a toothbrush, you sharpening it down for a whole month. Dude got a Jason knife, a Michael Myers knife. Well, you got this little bitty ass sharp toothbrush. Actually, dull toothbrush. Dog eat dog, man. Stay out of prison, youngsters. I want you all. This is a Scared Straight program. That's why lately I've been telling more horrific stories, because I need you. I've been too nice. I've been trying to make prison seem as not intentionally, but when I go back and look at my videos, I'm leaving out too much detail. I'm going to tell it for what it is, man. Over 10 years served in the Kentucky Department of Corrections. Facts. Big facts. Nothing proud about it. I wish that it didn't go that way. But then again, we never know what God's plan is for us. Here I am here to help the youth, to help the youngsters, anybody that'll listen, anybody. Understand, man, once they shut them prison doors, it's a wrap, man. Get naked. Hold your arms all the way up. Stick your tongue out. Lift your tongue. Go through your hair. Lift your sack. Lift it higher. It's a grown man doing this to another grown man. Turn around. Bend over. Squat. Cough 3 times. Cough again. You don't even have socks on. Other individuals around, COs walking through, they seeing you. You want to be humiliated? Do you want to be humiliated? Go to prison. They're going to humiliate you often. Any given time they strip search you. Get naked. I think a lot of them COs be zesty. Because I ran across a lot of COs as, they pull you in the room to strip search you or whatever. You take your shirt off, they just basically just keep you in there for a couple minutes, look good for the cameras, because the cameras can't see inside the strip room. All right, man, go on. They don't want to see all that, but you got some. Take everything off. Take your boxes off. They going through the lining, the inside lining of your box. You standing there. Come on, bro. It's floor is cold, man. I ain't got no socks on, no shoes. Don't come to prison. Don't sell dope, then, Frank. Y'all see that movie American Gangster? Y'all, what's dude's name? He was telling Frank Lucas once Frank Lucas's boss died, Bumpy Johnson. The landlord's 20%, Frank. Frank said, come on, bro. I don't remember dude's name. Not even Bumpy charged 20%. Well, Bumpy's dead, and I'm the new landlord, and the lease is 20%. Don't sell dope then, Frank. Get a real job. Come open my car doors. Yes, sir. No, sir, Mr. Johnson. It's the real world, man. It's the real world. Hey, young world. Hey, young world. Young world, young world. Young world. Slick Rick for y'all that don't know. A lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people don't understand that this is, although I'm delivering a message, this is entertainment as well. Come on, Ken, you just break out and start singing, man. When you got ADHD, shout out to all the people that got ADHD. I don't have ADHD. This is entertainment. It's just, it all correlates with the message. I'm fully aware of what I do, how I do it, when I do it. I'm fully aware. Y'all just rock with me. I'm going to need you all to start sharing my videos more. I'm going to need you all to start conversing more in the comment section, liking my videos more. People say, Kens, I get so caught up in your videos, the message that I forget to like. People actually tell me that. I can't get to the, 50, 60,000, 100,000 subscriber mark without you all. This is a message that every probably parent, kid needs to see. It's not too hard to just share. I need y'all to not only like, definitely need you to like. I definitely need you to comment. I definitely need you to share. I need you to subscribe to the channel. I don't know if you're not already subscribed. Be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? Amongst the first to receive. Kens, I didn't even know you dropped the video, man. I'm not getting my notifications. Worry not. Just check the channel every day. Anytime you want to hear a message, anytime you want to hear Ken speak, just check the channel, because I understand that for whatever reason, all the notifications not going out. But I'm not gonna cry about it. We just gonna grind and we gonna work harder. That's all we gonna do. We don't run anything at YouTube. So the only thing we can do is grind harder and continue to work. Real Kens TV, man. Y'all have a blessed holiday. I'll be back real soon. Respectfully.